I'm Sophia A. Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Aphrodisiac Theatre News. And today I'm joined by
Matthew Xia, Artistic Director of Actors Touring Company and the Director of Small Island, which we're taking into production imminently from the 11th to the 28th of March at Leeds Playhouse, and then it's going to move to Birmingham, and then it's going to move to Nottingham Playhouse.
Thank you very much. And it's really great to be speaking to you fresh from your success of working on The Harder They Come and the recent announcement that it's coming back to Stratford East. It seems like it's been quite a roller coaster for you. How are you today?
I'm good, yeah. It's two very large plays. That's what I'm thinking. I should have buffeted in between for a little one-person show or something, just to ease myself in. But it's brilliant. It's epic. You know what? That's what it is. And they both are. They're both really big. And I guess it's that thing that when you are kind of captain in the ship, you've got to constantly be looking after people and looking out for people and making sure everyone's okay. So I think I'm feeling that. But also I think I might be feeling the 19 flights of stairs I just ran up to find this very quiet room at the top of Leeds Playhouse.
Oh, thank you for your efforts.
Yeah, all for you, Sophia.
We're here. Okay, congratulations on the success of The Harder They Come. I'm super excited that it's coming back. But today we are actually not talking about that. We are here to talk about Small Island, which is opening up in a matter of weeks at Leeds Playhouse. So why did you want to direct Small Island? Why was that important to you?
Well, Leeds Playhouse approached me initially and said, would you like to? And I think, I've heard word on the grapevine that they thought I might be a bit too busy. And I thought, I've got to direct Small Island. It's a story of my existence. My Jamaican father and his journey across that massive ocean to come and make a life of opportunity, prosperity here in the UK, which is where he met my white mother. Okay. And so I feel like I am. Don't want to give too much away, but there is a mixed race child born at the end of Small Island, and of course many people will know this already because they'll have read the book or seen the TV show or seen the previous production at the National Theatre. And you unit the play, right? You chunk it down into rehearsable chunks of activity, and the unit for the very final moment where the child is left in the basket, all of the family members and the ancestors around. I think we titled something like A Mixed Race Child Born in an Intolerant England, Held and Loved. Kind of, I don't know, maybe a slight projection from myself onto that small child. But yeah, I really felt like I understood him and I understood the tensions that Andrea Levy was digging into in the creation of this epic, beautiful story, complex story. You know, none of the characters are out and out villains, none of them are out and out saints. They're all complicated, flawed human beings who have dreams and ambitions and want to be in a life that they can't quite get to. And actually, I hadn't read the book. I had seen the TV show and I had seen the Nationals production. And so I guess another question was, well, how do you do a version of it that isn't that? I feel like that,
that is definitely one of my questions. So
yeah, we're there.
Well, most people will have read the book, watched it at the National, watched it with, I think it was Ashley Walters on TV.
Ashley Walters, David Oyelowo playing Gilbert.
It's had an epic journey, and then plus the legacy of Andrea Levy. It's a lot. How are you coping with that?
I think once I'd let go of the fact that I could only ever make my own version, and that by pulling in the collaborators that I wanted to work with, we would make something new and exciting. And that allowed me to kind of unanchor myself from pre-existing versions. And Clive Davis from The Times came and sat in the rehearsal room for a bit the other day, who actually, my own ignorance, but I didn't realise he was mixed race and his own family, he's Jamaican heritage as well.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, you're doing it like a play." And I thought, yeah, because it's a play. But what I realised is that actually Rufus's style of making theatre is often quite spectacular. It's often, and of course he was making it for the Olivier stage, which takes some filling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess my version has been to drill down into those relationships, to drill down into the heart of the people in the play, and to really centre it there. So, there's no kind of big expansive video wall showing us the Empire Windrush coming across the ocean.
Is it more stripped back, would you say?
It's more stripped back. I mean, the other thing is I think they had a cast of somewhere approaching 40 in the national production. So you had these huge movement sequences that would take us from one place to another place, one scene to another scene. And we have a cast of 15 with lots and lots of multi-rolling. So in a way, like often, the parameters and the restrictions, be they budgetary, cast size, shape of the venue, whatever they are, they force you to engage with it in a different way.
It sounds like it might be a bit more intimate as well, and a bit more personal. I mean, I did love the National Theatre adaptation.
It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was just important that it was there as well. I think that's what made it quite iconic. But you said you hadn't originally read the book. I'm guessing you've read the book now.
I have read the book. Yeah. Well, I've read the book once through, and then I dip in and out of it all the time to just kind of correlate the bits we're doing in the play with, as I said to the actors, what's kind of great about this is you don't really have, if you want character enrichment and backstory, you don't have to invent it. There is almost a tome as large as the Bible in which you can delve into and find just what sits underneath that place. Because, of course, the first person novel, which is the way that she's written it, these 4 different characters telling you their kind of individual experiences, allows you to see a line, but also then to jump into the book and work out what they were thinking, how they were feeling, why they said the next thing they said, how they felt in response to that. So it's really great actually having the play text, which Helen Edmundson and Andrea, I believe, also supported the work on that, have done an incredible job of, in terms of condensing and reducing down to the absolute kind of key structure of the story and what you need from those characters.
It does.
But when we need, well, as I said, but when we need it, there is a rich trove of understanding of these characters as well to delve into.
It does sound like it's quite complex to direct. Would that be right or no?
I think that the thing that's been most complex is the first 3 scenes in Act 1, because if you remember, they start with scene 1, we meet Hortense. She turns out and she addresses us and she starts talking to us. So you may be wondering why I'm here in this schoolhouse. Well, let me tell you the story of my love. It is a love with deep down roots. And then we flash back. And within that first scene, there are like 26 units that are all in different locations with no connective tissue. So one of the things has been, I mean, it's almost like a film. It jump cuts. We're outside the schoolhouse. We're inside the schoolhouse. We're back at the dinner table, but we're always within a flashback as well. So getting our heads around that has taken some work. But I think we're there. And we're in week 4 now, so we've staged the whole play. Very happy with the shape of it, with all the brilliant work the actors are doing. Really looking forward to tech actually, and what it add all the production and the lights and the sound and the hurricane and the smoke and all of that stuff.
Yeah. And you had Andrea Levy's husband in. How was that?
Yeah. Oh, incredible. What an honour. As he said, if Andrea was still with us today, she passed from cancer in 2019.
Yeah.
But if she was still here now, she would be absolutely cheering us along. She'd be in the room. She'd be working it out with us, helping make choices, decisions, changes, whatever it is. But to be able to have that access, because actually what we learn is, like most of the greatest writing, people are writing what they know, and it's fairly autobiographical. So Andrea's parents came over to the UK. Her dad was on the Windrush. He sent for her mother later once he'd found a place to live. She had ambitions of being a teacher, but her qualifications and letters of reference meant nothing. Once she got to the UK, she was spoken down to like she didn't understand English in spite of being really well spoken. And all of that stuff we learned through talking to Bill is not just the story of Small Island, but it's a story of her parents.
Wow.
We also learned, incredible, the Small Island emerged from a kind of family in-joke. So Bill and Andrea always used to say, now look, we've fallen in love with each other across the colour bar or whatever kind of, language they'd be applying to it. But they'd always say, God, could you imagine if our parents met each other? And so that's what Small Island is, essentially. Kind of Queenie and Bernard are a version of Bill's parents, and Hortense and Gilbert are a version of Andrea's parents, even with the fact that his name is Gilbert Joseph and he has Jewish ancestry, as does Andrea Levy.
Okay. And what did, I mean, having him in the room must have been really special. And I guess it's important that you do honour Andrea's legacy as well. So, what would you say have been the most challenging aspects of directing Small Island for you?
I mean, certainly that part of it, kind of holding on to and respecting that this was the version of the playtext that went to publication that
Yeah,
she was happy with. So, sometimes when you want to move a line, change a line, could we do that differently? It actually feels like I want to really respect, because it's only the second ever version of a theatrical production of it. So I really want to honour what Andrew and Helen put on the play. So holding that has been really important. The language, there's some really horrendous language in here, some
yeah,
slurs, and
yeah.
not even the slur. I mean, the slurs we can kind of, we go, okay, you called me the N word, or you COON, or whatever these words are that are in the piece. But some of the stuff that's been even harder is the kind of the smaller. Now we have a word for them, don't we? Microaggressions.
Mm.
So Hortense comes from upstairs and says, "Can I take a basin?" And she says, "Sorry, a what? A basin." Sorry, I really don't understand what you're saying. A bit. Oh,
Oh,
you want a basin? Sorry, why didn't you
yeah,
just say?
yeah.
And then she offers to take her to the shops with her, and she says, "We have butchers, bakers who sell bread." Almost like Hortense is some sort of alien from out of space.
Mm.
And that has been really difficult. We've made a really safe room.
Okay.
So the way we rehearse, and I guess it's the sort of thing you learn from doing something like Tambo and Bones, is let's run it once with all of the dreadful language in, so we know what the shape of it is. The next
Mm.
4 times we run it across this next hour and a half, we won't use that language. We'll just leave a gap, or we'll sub in a different word.
Okay.
And then when we put it all back together at the end, if everyone is okay with this, let's put the words back in, and we put the slurs back in. So there's a real kind of communal sense of safety in the room and looking after each other.
And why was that important for you to put that into place? And is it the first time that you've done that, apart from, or was it Tambo and Bones that inspired you as part of your directing now, that that's something that you do?
No, I think, do you know what? It was Mojisola Adebayo, actually. So when we did Tambo and Bones, I mean, that has the M word in it, I think we counted 136 times.
Yeah,
Only once with a hard ER, if people care about the difference between the ER and the A or
they
whatever.
definitely do.
Yeah, yeah. In our room, I think we had to accept that we were a bunch of Americans using the word in the same way it was used in hip hop music. So that
Okay. Yeah.
so we were just using it. We were just saying it. Um, when you're doing a play that has a slightly different approach to the M word, where it is used to harm, to hurt, to maim in the way that it is normally used in the world, Mojisola Adebayo had this brilliant thing. She wrote a play for Connections Festival that had the M word in it, a traditional spelling, ERN, and she said that this word is like a gun. Only the person who fires the gun, like in a rehearsal room, only the stage management go and get the gun out of a locked box, and they pass it to the person who's going to fire it. They say this is a dangerous item.
Yeah.
Used incorrectly, it can hurt.
Right.
And so I got this sense that actually that's, from her, that's how you should be treating the N word and some other words that are in this play as well. It does hurt, it does maim, it does injure, it does cost the person who's saying it as well, particularly if, no one in this room is a racist. So for them to be using that word hurts both the person saying it and the person
Yeah.
receiving it and anyone else who's in the room hearing it. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking, how do we keep people safe, really? And actually, this is fun. Paul Hawkyard, who plays Arthur, who is Bernard's dad, also doubles up as one of the railway workers in King's Cross who, in the audition, had to use that word. And he is white assumed. I think that's a better phrase than white presenting. But his mother is actually mixed race, darker skinned than I am.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone knows that until it's pointed out. So he
Right.
came into the audition. Sorry, I should turn all the noisy things off. Reduce interruptions. So he came in and he went, I can't believe I've had to say this word. And I went, what word? He said, that word. He said, I've only ever hit people in the face of it, and now I've got to say it. I was walking around the kitchen trying to say it and I couldn't bring myself to. And it was just that kind of sensitivity that we have in the room that is so useful to the process.
Yeah, and I think also when you sign up to be an actor, that's definitely not something that you think you're going to have to come across. And also you have to be credible as well. Like you've got to have that venom that is behind it, So I imagine, obviously it's hard for people of color to hear it, but obviously if you aren't a racist, then it's hard to say that out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another lad called Phil in the play, in the cast. I think his daughter's 15, and he went home and he told her how his day at work had been, and she said, I can't believe you said that word at work, Dad. He's a white guy. And she said, I would have refused. I was like, I don't think you quite understand the job.
Then I'd have no job.
So. Exactly, yeah.
But I love that she was that passionate,
Yeah. He's clearly raised some good children.
Okay, so we've spoken quite extensively about Small Island, but you are also the artistic director of the Actors Touring Company. And so half of the interview is a little bit about you being an artistic director. What advice would you give to someone who has aspirations of becoming an artistic director? It feels like a really big job.
Yeah, it is a really big job. And the bigger the venue or the bigger the company, the bigger the job in a way. Get experience of being in companies, get experience of being in buildings. So many freelance directors have ambitions of being an AD, but don't seem to get the right sort of experience of, can I shadow an artistic director for a week? Can I really see what the on the ground job is? All of the meetings that will be considered ultimately kind of slightly boring, but they are absolutely essential to fundraising, funding, finance meetings, board meetings with our new marketing team, working out what the structure of the organisation should be. One of the really good ways of being able to get that sort of experience is if you can get on the board of a company, or if you can get on the board of a theatre organisation or building, then you're really up close to all of that decision making. And I think that would be crucial, because I think lots of people think I'm really good at making a play. Not me, they think that about themselves. They think I'm really good at making a play, which they may be, and that is almost none of those skills are involved in leading a company.
So then why do it then? Like if you are a creative, why would you want to do both?
Yeah, good question.
Different skills are required.
Yeah, good question. And I can't answer for anyone else, but I know that when I was about 15, I knew that I wanted to be Philip Headley, who had very successfully run Theatre Royal Stratford East for about 15 years, 20 years. He had made it a home for lost children like myself and artists of colour who couldn't necessarily find a home in other organisations. And I think that's the difference between being a playmaker is being a playmaker, but if you get to build your own house essentially and set the rules of that house and who can live here and who belongs here and who do we want to make work for, I think that's why I wanted to do it. And I really wanted to empower other artists as well. I wanted to empower writers and directors and actors to live their best dreams and make the work they wanted to make as well. And
are you doing that?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think so. I say I think so because it's so piecemeal with ATC. We do 2 shows a year, and you think
two massive shows though. You don't do small things. Do
you? 2 massive shows a year. Yeah, no, that is true. But I guess I think I said something weird when I first got the job, which was like, so in my first year we'll put down 1 flag, and everyone will go, "Is that the border of the land that is ATC?" And I say, "No. That's just 1 point on the map." And then you go over here, and you put down another flag, and they go, "Oh, so you do that and you do that?" You go, "No, that's just 2 flags on the map." A whole circumference drawn out clearly with all of these different projects, from immersive experiences on the bus to working with community groups on a beach to touring wildly political, satirical comedy about race and capitalism and fascism, to doing Small Island, which now feels like one of the most important British stories that has ever been told. So yeah, and again, I think we're empowering loads and loads of artists. We've just commissioned, I can't even say yet, but we've just commissioned. No, Not until I've got the first draft. A
Okay,
very exciting international play that we're going to be doing here in the UK and in Sweden. But what I
when are
can
you
tell
announcing
you,
that then?
gosh, the first draft is due January 27, so
Oh,
sometime
okay.
around then, I
Some
think.
time away. Okay.
Yeah. We've got another play we're going to be doing at the end of this year, which again is unannounced at this moment in time, but it will be part of a brilliant new artistic director's inaugural season. Exactly who?
Oh, dearie me. Okay. What does a typical day look like apart from winding me up on interviews and not giving me any tea?
Giving you no tea at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the first thing I write in my diary. Today, I must annoy Sophia by
Yeah.
giving her no tea. Um, no, I mean, at the moment, I'm in rehearsal, so it means trying to do everything else on the outside really early. So I get up, I make myself some breakfast, I pull myself together, and then from about 8:30 to 9:45, I'm taking meetings in the morning. So this morning, for example, was a big meeting about some of the changes that are going to happen with the harder they come, because some people have got
Okay.
jobs and some people have gone on to other projects. So just
Ah,
casting conversations.
interesting.
Then I gave some notes on the trailer for Small Island. Then I emailed the administrative coordinator at ATC to book my tickets home so I can go and see my family at the weekend.
Very
And I came to
important.
work, yeah, I think so, and started rehearsals. And we're in week 4, so we run scene 1 and note it and run it again, and then we run scene 2 and note it and run it again.
Hmm. Hello. Yes,
I'm still here. Are you still here?
I'm still there. So you run scene 1 and then
Yes, run C1, note it, give all the notes, run it again, do the same for scene 2. And so we're at that point of working through each bit of the play now. After work today, I'm going to go and see Amy Leach, the former associate director of Leeds Playhouse, who's a bit of a mate, and we're just going to catch up. And I'm going to get all of her tips for how best to use the quarry space that she has made many plays in.
okay.
Yeah, and then I'll fall asleep and go again tomorrow.
Start all over again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think you've answered pretty much all of my questions. One of them was what's next for ATC, but you refused to tell me, so that's fine. When you were starting out as an artistic director, oh, you've already said it was Philip Headley, so that's fine.
Yeah,
It's basically just answered all of my questions. This is what I really wanted to ask. As a former DJ, or are you still are you currently still DJing?
I retired from professional DJing in 2012 with a
Just friends
very
and
shiny
family now,
new.
if they ask nicely.
Just yeah. Weddings, bat mitzvahs, christenings, all that good stuff.
So how do you bring your DJing past into being a director? That's why I did actually really want to know that.
Yeah, no, it's so in there, and I'm all about the rhythm. I refer often to the script as the instruction manual, but I also refer to it as the score. So just now, I think one of the notes was the line is but ... this is it. So we need to make sense of that ... What's lingering in that liminal space between starting to answer the question and completing answering the question. Can we strengthen that comma that comes later? Can we put a full stop there so that they're two separate thoughts? And for me, that's all about the flow and the rhythm. I'm also obsessed with when people put an object down on the stage, because sometimes if you put a thing down while you're in the middle of talking, you've muddied the waters,
Yeah.
right? Whereas if you put a thing down in the middle of talking, it's got
Mm,
impact. So again, everything that makes a noise on that stage, I hope to have
I
some
love
element of
that.
control over. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, quick fire. Don't think about them too long, just straight in there.
Let's
If
go.
you can remember quickly. So the first
Yeah.
time you went to the theatre and what did you watch and who took you?
Gosh, can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a pantomime at Theatre Royal Stratford East, and
Of
I think
course.
I went with the school, Canhall Primary School. The next thing I remember is a play called The Hunting of the Snark, which was an absolute bomb in the West End. It was really criticised, but I absolutely loved it because I was about 9 years old.
Okay. What was the last play that you saw?
Last play I saw was A Midsummer Night's Dream by Headlong, the one they did at the Globe, which they just toured to Leeds. I'm in the building, so I'm seeing lots of stuff here at the moment.
And can you give a shout out to the person in the industry who's had the biggest impact on your career?
Yep, Ultz, the designer I worked with on The Boys, The Blacks, Tambo and Bones, Skeleton Crew. I met him when I was 16 years old. He walked up to me and he said, "I think you're the man who can help me make a new musical." And I said, "Oh, okay." And we've been friends for, gosh, it must be about 25 years now.
Oh, and so do you think your career went in a different direction having met him?
Yeah, well, I had no desire to. I was like doing a bit of sound design for theatre, and he brought me in to be a composer in theatre, so that was really important. And then when we did The Blacks in 2007, he said, "Oh, I've had this other idea. It's a play called The Blacks by Jean Genet. It's about what whiteness has done within Africa over 400 years. Oh, and I'd like you to co-direct it with me." And I said, "Oh, I'm not really sure what that means, but I'll sit with you while you direct it." And he said, "Well, that's kind of what it means." So that was the first time I ever directed a play in my life, and I thought,
Yay!
I like this, yeah.
Thank you. Finally, why should we come and watch Small Island?
Because it is a play that affects every single human being in this country. If you are British, if you are Black British, if you are a migrant, if you have ancient migrancy, if you are white British and you think your family goes back centuries, this play is about you. This play is about the empire that England once had that stretched all around the world. It is the reason we are here now. Yeah, I was with Leah Harvey, actually, who played Hortense in the original production at the National Theatre. And we were in a pub in London, and she looked around and she said, every single person in this pub is affected by the things that happen in this play. And that's why it's that's why I describe it as one of the most important British plays of all time, and stories.
I think that's a good enough reason.
Glorious.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.